Când am fost la oraș cu două, trei colegi mei, eu am stat în picior, a dat două blonzi direct pe așa și pe amândouă picior. Dar colegii mei a stat jos, a dat blonzii pe piepten și a murit. Tatăl meu a fost polițist și am avut doi frați și un soră. Și mama mea a fost acasă, dar din cauza tatăl meu că a fost polițist, nu știu cum se numește, a fost polițist mare și la orașul toată lumea a cunoscut cu familia mea. E foarte greu fără mamă. Nu pot să zic nimic despre mama, că a fost foarte important pentru mine.
Life expectancy is in Afghanistan, it's about 40. They just give a threat letter if you do not present yourself to us here for more declaration and more information to us, so we will kill you. So this was the main story behind of that why I left Afghanistan.
وصلنا لهون
نايمين هون
نمنا هون نفخ قوة هي نفخ قوة عبوة إنه الله بس توصل لهون يعطي نص الجبنات.
There were like no choice to decide. If I say no, they could kill me immediately. If I decide to not work with them, it will be like worse. In front of my eyes, I saw how they start to kill the people. I have a history about one guy that's actually he detected that I'm not translating this news, and he say me, "Be careful." He friend and that's in the same like working in the section Spanish section. He told me, "Be careful. That if they detect that you are not translating that, they will immediately kill you." It was not easy to go like. To the protest and to work there because they were like there were like some guys always letting us know that they are behind me from the government. So I was going out to the protest, but putting something in front my face just to.
How were these messages coming to you?
No, it was like simply that sometimes one of that time that one guy says, hey sir, this is the guy is here. Just I looked behind me. That's, do you know who I am? He said, yeah, I know who you are. He said, I'm a journalist of Sana, and they say, I know. They know that's just to let me know, to let me feel.
They know your every move.
Yeah, exactly. I start to think that the only way to survive is to be smart enough. Just to simulate that okay, guys, I'm with you. I'm with the government. Even sometimes they start to do something just to let you, to force you to say different things. But I was like all the time, okay, you are right. Just I need to survive. It's just they work in this way to let you feel like, to treat you, to feel like, hey, we control you, but they didn't control you. They cannot control anything. I have been using the card of journalist that's working for Sana, and it's written there to give me all the access to any place. Yeah. And this is it was the card to save my life.
Fiecare poate să trăiască frumos în felul lui, cât de bogat este și cât de sărac este. Dar după ce au intrat teroriștii, cred au stricat tot. Și toate lumea îi pare rău că au stricat țara aia frumoasă. Și speram să ne întoarcem cu toți acolo.
Și politica începe de la educație.
Să te îmbraci negru de sus până jos.
Așa
ai voie, n-ai voie, nu ai voie internet, nu ai voie aia, nu ai voie. Bărbatul nu are voie să te îmbrace cu pantaloni de blugi. Nu e posibil să se bage în astea. La ora 8 toată lumea să se culce. La ora... Exact. Asta nu este religie.
Adică frizer nu trebuie să existe, coafora nu să există.
Eu predau chimia și în Deir Zor, să vă dau un exemplu, au anulat chimia pentru că este heretică. Cum adică chimia e heretică? În statul islamic, acest teroriști au anulat chimia că au zis că este de la diavol. Crearea și biologia. A zis că dacă te bagi în știința creierii sau asta, te bagi în știința lui Dumnezeu, trebuie tăiat. A fost anulată biologia și chimia.
Syria was a safe place, but after the conflict, after the war, everything changed, everything destroyed. So that's why we prefer to go out.
The situation in Afghanistan is unfortunately worse. Why I not left Afghanistan 10 years before? Look, yesterday in Kabul, 2 suicide attack has been occurred. About 39 people has been killed, and most of the people who were killed were civilian.
2013 a intrat multe teroriști din orașul meu. Se numește Kharkiv. E un oraș foarte mare și are foarte patron, are benzină, are gaz. Din cauza aia vine multe teroriști la orașul meu. A intrat multe oraș fiecare zi la magazin, la oraș, pe stradă. A făcut bombă, a fost o mașină, a făcut bombă. Și din cauza aia a murit foarte mult oameni. Și mama mea și cu sora și cu un frate a murit într-un loc.
Încercăm să-i creionăm ideea că este un copil puternic sau că este un viitor adult și că trebuie să fie puternic și că indiferent de ajutorul nostru necondiționat va trebui la un moment dat în viață să ia decizii de unul singur, să se descurce în situații critice de unul singur, pentru că asta fac și copiii noștri, cetățeni români.
Și am fost o lună din Turcia, de atunci mi-a găsit un tir. A zis trebuie să stai câteva zile dinăuntru tir până să ajung într-o țară din European. Și într-o noapte a zis hai mergem. Am plecat cu mașină și într-o benzinerie, într-un restaurant. Și mi-a deschis ușa la tirul, am stat dinăuntru la tir. Noi nu am știut, de cât am stat în tirul, nici domnul șofer nu a știut că suntem în mașina ei.
Erați ascunși în mașină și șoferul nu știa.
Păi da, dacă era știe, nu a lăsat. Când am plecat din Turcia, 2 zile jumate am ajuns aici în țara România, prietenul meu a fost bolnav. A fost bolnav la inimă și noi nu am avut multe apă, multe mâncare, m-a obosit foarte mult și am vorbit cu el, am zis mai bine să coborâm de aici, ca să nu se întâmplă ceva. Oricum, când am coborât, a venit ambulanța, a venit polițist, până ajung la spital, prietenul meu a murit.
I could escape alone. It was very difficult, but after my brother went to Turkey, also one sister and brother could go to Lebanon because it's near Syria, so it was easy for them. But in Europe, just me, I could.
Then I left Afghanistan for this reason and coming to Iran with very difficulties in the way. Then from the Iran to the Turkey. So in the Turkey, after some time, coming to Bulgaria, and we have just walked more in jungles, and we have been faced with more animals there. So it was very difficult for us.
Most of the people who arrive in Serbia now are in very bad shape, and they're visibly in a bad shape. They arrive wearing dirty clothes and with pains in their body, also with scars because they're traveling through woods. So many of them actually have scars on their faces and bruises on their hands. So we can see that many of people who arrive, they need medical assistance, and they can get it in Mixalište, or they also can get it from the regular Serbian hospitals. Also, what we're seeing now is a huge problem with body lice and scabies. These people were traveling for a long time, or they stay in the camps for many months in bad conditions. When it comes to hygiene, this became a serious issue in Belgrade, especially within the population which is staying in the open. So 1,000 and something people, mostly men, are staying in the park and in abandoned buildings close to the train station. They don't want to leave the park because they want to stay close to the smugglers, because they're relying on smugglers to take them across the border. And they are facing many difficulties, and many of them are ill.
Actually, my destiny it was not Bulgaria. It was I was thinking to go to Germany maybe, or to Sweden, or to some country that I can to have better opportunities.
When I arrived here to Romania, first to Serbia, then I was in this plan to go one of the European countries where I am safe, where I can feel free, that I am free for education, I am free to work, I am free for improvement of myself. And the first I had planned to go to France by crossing the border of Hungary. But unfortunately, the person who just took us like as a smuggler of the human, he didn't say that you will cross the Romania and coming to Hungary, then you will go to the France. So he said that when like the first time when we entered here to the Romania. So when I asked from him where is it Hungary, he said yeah, it's Hungary in the first time. So he didn't tell me the truth. Unfortunately, in that time I didn't know that Romania is a country of European. When I heard about this, that Romanians in an European country, and I confirmed this, then I changed my mind and I switched off France for Romania.
Și când am ajuns aici, am ajuns la un oraș, cred că a fost Timișoara sau nu știu care oraș a fost. Pe urmă am venit la centru aici, la Giurgiu. Am stat vreo 2-3 luni la centru până să am luat buletinul de refugiat. Eu pe vena asta nu mai am. Am fost la multe doctori, dar nu a știut care e problema la piciorul meu. A fost foarte greu. Prima operație 6.000 de euro.
We had a woman traveling from Syria. She is 8 months pregnant, but her baby is actually not well. So the family traveled across the sea. They boarded a rubber boat in Turkey to arrive to Greece, but the boat turned over and 3 of her children died. So she continued the journey to Greece, being pregnant with a child and a husband. After spending a couple of months there, they arrived in Serbia. But you know, there are consequences of the consequence and the trauma of these terrible events. So actually, the baby is not feeling well, and the doctors will have to terminate her pregnancy. So the woman left to hospital. So they're all telling us how they're fleeing from the conflicts, they're fleeing from the military groups, which are trying to actually recruit them, also killing their families. Many of these children they actually lost their mother or their father or some other close member of the family. So they really have this idea of another country where life is different, where they can go to school, where they can fulfill their dreams, and also later on help others who stayed home. And they tell us how they miss their families a lot, and you know, it's very difficult to hear children crying when they're talking with their mothers on the phone, and missing them a lot and being afraid along the journey. But at the same time, they are like, you know, so courageous and so determined, and they are telling us that they cannot give up.
Și casele meu la familie a fost, nu știu cine a dat foc, a fost și 2 mașini al tatăl meu, tot a dat foc. Și pe urmă am vorbit cu un prieten de la serviciul tatăl meu. Am zis că nu am ce să fac aici. Nici nu pot să rezolv piciorul, nici școală, nici viață, nimic. Dar cât mai avem pe niște rute pe acolo. Și a zis, dacă vrei să te ajut, plec din țară. Și am zis, sigur.
We are in Refugee Aid Mixeliște. This is a hub for various organizations which are providing support and help to the refugees and migrants who are arriving in Belgrade. As you can see, Mixeliște is quite full because people are arriving daily in Serbia. UNHCR reports about 200 to 300 people who are arriving daily. And they are actually all willing, they are really wishing to continue the journey to the Western European countries. The problem is that their only legal way to leave Serbia is through asking for asylum in Hungary, and Hungary admits only 30 people per day. So if you compare these numbers, 30 people who are able to leave the country per day and 200 or 300 of them arriving in Serbia, then you can count the numbers and actually figure out why we have over 6,000 people present in Serbia at the moment. We say they are temporarily stuck or stranded, temporarily because they are all planning to leave Serbia. Serbia is not their country of destination. They are relying on smugglers to help them to cross. They are paying large sums of money to them, and very often they are abused by the smugglers.
I have spent about 21,000 euro on the way for giving to the smuggler to bring me, like me plus my two brothers, like everyone 7,000 euro to arriving here to the EU countries. It's very difficult. Like I have given more money even though to these people to just bring me in a very safety place, because my brother was in a medical condition. His condition was not good to walking, but unfortunately they have used us and they just brought us as they wanted. I paid to go all by car to the EU. They promised us, but they didn't.
After a week, I have been like teaching the kids and the camps. I have been traveling with some groups just to give, some support to the refugee in other camps and outside of Sofia or even inside of Sofia. And that's how I know Azhar and Shadi. I met them in one camp. Even right now, my boss in the company, the owner of my company, is one of that supporter of refugees. I met him also in one camp in Kharmali outside of Sofia.
He was a volunteer also?
Yeah. And after that, he actually after a couple of months, he started to have a contact with me to say, hey, Elias, we are developing some programs, IT, you can help us.
He is an IT entrepreneur.
Yes. And right now I'm working for that here in his company.
Colegii mei mă ajută foarte mult să rezolv temele pe WhatsApp, pe grup WhatsApp, pe Messenger. Mă ajută foarte mult cu temele ca să fac. Știe că eu nu pot să fac temele corect singur și mă ajută foarte mult pe grupul clasa. Și când am reușit să fac operația, a fost foarte greu până am făcut rost de banii. A fost alocație de la București, GRS, și colegii mei la școală s-a gândit a venit la mine niște colegi, a zis că vreau să te ajut cu banii ca să reușești să faci și tu operație.
This is where we're welcoming children and their families, and where we involve them in various activities with the goal to help them to relax, to feel safe, to feel at home, and we're doing our best to somehow provide the environment where children can be what they really are, children, because they didn't have much chance to feel like children during this perilous journey. This is one of the activities that the team in Child Friendly Space created. It's called Superhero on the Way. So it's one big map with many superheroes, and children who come to Child Friendly Space, they all get this small superhero, and then they can paint it and they can actually personalize it, And while doing this, they are telling us their stories about the journey, about the superpowers that they have that help them along this journey. And this is how, like, by telling their stories, they are digesting all these difficult experiences that they had, and they're also, you know, somehow focusing on their strengths, which is very important. And then when they finish, they can put their superhero on the map together with all other superheroes, and children really love this activity.
Some friend of mine that's the voluntary, I met some professor in the university. They invite me one time to go there and to have contact with the students there. And they offer me to work with them in the university, like as I'm native, so.
What are you teaching them?
I'm Arabic literature and Arabic language. They know that I have like a good experience in teaching also, because I teach there in Cuba, also in La Habana, in the University of La Habana during 4 years. I like to be a professor actually. It's more than that's IT or in that outsourcing company or this kind of job. But here is like the better chances is like to work in these companies because they offer better money. In the university, actually, I'm doing it like a voluntary actually, because they are not giving a good money there. At least like I'm doing these stuffs because of the Bulgarian, not the government, because who helped us in the beginning, it was the
average Bulgarian,
yeah.
the normal Bulgarians,
Yes.
the citizens
The
of their
citizens.
own, not the state.
Exactly.
But
like I told you, I don't want to blame the government if they because the situation I think in the camps they are better than the beginning. When we came the first wave, we were like we came like 10,000, and I think it was a big number for a small country like Bulgaria and poor country.
Am lăsat tot. Soțul avea și fabrica, și cabinet, și de toate. Și acum ne gândim că dacă se întâmplă, cum să spun, dacă pace o să fie încă o dată acolo în Siria, ne întoarcem acolo, sigur, în Siria, în țara noastră, care oamenii în Siria sunt oameni, cum să spun, de pace. Și ce s-a întâmplat acolo foarte ciudat.
Educație, pe urma faci ce vrei.
Many of the Serbian people know how it is to be displaced, to, you know, how it is, how you feel when you have to leave your home. You know, they have been through the conflicts and the civil war, so they can feel for these people. Both Asylum Info Center and Mixaliște are calling for help, and people are bringing their clothes, you know, so this can be distributed to the refugees. The average Serbian person would support and help the refugees. This is what we have been seeing in this transit context, and we are hoping that that this will be also the case if these people are actually, if they're staying for a longer period, or if we have number of them who are going to stay as an asylum seekers and who will be integrated into society.
Și de atunci eu am rămas aici. Când am văzut aici e o țară frumoasă, e oamenii buni, aici e bine pentru mine. Nu vreau să mă duc într-o țară bogată sau e mai frumoasă, nu a fost interesează pe mine. Interesează pe mine a fost să rezolv probleme la picior, să încep iar la școală. Că am pierdut 3 ani, 4 ani la școală.
Aici este testul lui, după anul în care a fost audient. În urma acestui test, el a putut să fie înscris în clasa a 9-a.
Let me to say about the amount of money that they are giving to us. It's, as I before said, it's about 450 lei. So it's about 100 euro. So it's a bit difficult to manage your daily life with this money for 1 month. It's a bit difficult. You have to work here to arrange if you look for a better life, so you must work here to find money, to save money, so you must work. Like it's the money that when 1 month is finishing, so the money is as well finishing.
For me, I don't want to go out. I don't want to leave Romania. I don't know if other people agree with this, but for me, it's okay to stay in Romania. As now I'm trying to learn Romanian, and I like people here, Romanian people. They are great people. So for me, I want to stay in Romania. If I wanted to leave Romania, I would leave it 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So I want to build my life in Romania.
I saw that there is opportunities to stay and to get a good job. Other like refugee, they even don't know that there is opportunities here. The work to get a good job is the easiest way to integrate in any society.
Do you speak Bulgarian now?
It's actually no. This is shame on me. That's right. I'm not feeling like it's my country. Like I felt like when I have been in Cuba, for example. I feel like more Cuban, or part of me Cuban, part Syrian, but because I felt that
not
I'm
a Bulgarian yet.
Not a Bulgarian yet, because it's different. You know, they're like I'm the same person, I'm the same guy, but when I speak in Arabic, they feel that these Arab guys. But if I speak in Spanish, they start to laugh with me with something like, okay, you are welcome here.
How can you explain this?
It is the propaganda that they are like some media they are doing. That's even like not only here in Bulgaria. I think this in many countries in Europe there is some malicious propaganda that they want to do. They want to show the refugee as the evil, or that's the bad, or something like they must not come to Europe.
We have some concerns when it comes to media reports, because we have seen some cases of sensational reporting, but still this is still not a serious concern. There were reports about criminal activities and criminal acts, assaults by smugglers, refugees and migrants, and Serbian police was dealing with this. These reports caused concerns in the local communities where these cases happened, but the things are still in control, and there are no serious concerns at the moment. What we are concerned about is the fact that people who are staying in Serbia are more and more desperate, and we can see that many of them are depressed, and they feel like there is no future for them. They don't know what will happen tomorrow.
I cannot say that Romania is featuring high in hate speech, but if I say it doesn't exist at all, I would not be telling the truth. Of course, there are instances of I wouldn't call it hate speech. It's more mistrust. But I think that these instances of mistrust have been provoked what I call the breaking news effect. Breaking news effect of things that were not happening in Romania but were happening elsewhere. No doubt the Paris and Brussels, what happened in horrible events in Paris and Brussels, this summer in Cannes, more recently in Berlin during the Christmas, all this is shown in TV. And sorry to say, I mean, I don't want to blame journalists. Journalists do an excellent work in feeding the public opinion with information, but sometimes the language used is very inaccurate. And they tend to call refugee to people who are not refugees, who are other things, but not refugees. They can be foreigners residing legally or irregularly, but they are not necessarily refugees. But there is this tendency to call everybody a refugee.
E o persoană sociabilă, chiar foarte sociabilă și s-a integrat cu ușurință printre colegii lui. Și, deopotrivă, cred că e și o persoană puternică, dacă mai are puterea să zâmbească după tragedia prin care a trecut.
I do not want to forget the GRS who supported us very well. They gave us everything, so they are great people. Oh, I want to find better job or stay in this job. That's it.
When I got the refugee status, so my all friends came and they said that happy to you and congratulations to you that you got this refugee status here, so you have to invite us. Then I made for them a traditional meal of Afghanistan, if you don't mind, so I have some pictures and let me to show you. So here is the picture, it's rice plus meat plus carrot.
Și mie place să stau cu familia mea și să stau cu țara mea, să stau cu oamenii care vorbesc pe limba mea, dar asta e. Când am ajuns aici, mă uit și la țara România ca la fel la Irak. E țara mea România. Că am reușit să fac operații, să am învățat limba. Asta e, acum e țara mea. Irak a fost.
I also submitted my CV for different organizations, for example, CNNR in English, so they are calling Chanarare in Romanian language, GRS, as well as IOM, to finding a job where I can improve my education experience. I didn't receive any feedback from them. What would be the problem for finding a job here is that, like, you don't know actually the language of Romania. So today I received a call from the IOM. They said to me that if you would like to find job, so please visit with one of the online job opportunity.
Before working in Romania, I was working in Central Asia, in Kazakhstan. And I had once a young refugee from Afghanistan who came to talk to me about his problems, and he had a long list of complaints, this and that and that and that. And then I said, okay, you have a very long list, but if you had to choose one thing in which you think I can, or UNHCR can help you, what would you choose? And he told me something that I will never forget, because he said, he was thinking and he said, you know, what I want is, I want to become a taxpayer. And I said, a taxpayer? You want to pay taxes? Nobody wants to pay taxes. Why would you like to pay taxes? And he told me, because if I have to pay taxes, it would mean that I have a salary. And if I have a salary, it means that I have a job, and then I could sustain my family and I wouldn't have to come to complain to you every other day. And then I thought it reflected very well, no, what refugees want, a normal life, even to become taxpayers, which is something that nobody likes to pay taxes, but paying taxes is a sign of normality, no?
At this moment, we have 3 days old baby with her mother in the corner. The baby was born in Belgrade. This is a family from Iraq. They have been traveling for a long time, and the woman was pregnant during the journey. She gave birth in the hospital, and her family was here with the team. And when they found out, when they learned that she successfully gave birth and that mother and baby are both feeling well, family was celebrating, they were dancing and singing.